Clock is ticking, fam. Time is moving. All right. Time's not waiting for anybody. The Most High is not turning back the clocks for anybody. As a matter of fact, He is shortening the days for the sake of the elect. All right. And so that means we are heading towards our conclusion at a rapid pace. So what does that mean? That means we have a limited amount of time to get it in gear. All right, to get our butts in gear, to get your rear in gear, right? As the old folks would say. And so what that means is we got to come, into obedience. We got to come to the knowledge of this truth. We have to accept it and we have to do something with it once we get it. Once we get it. All right. We know the parable of the sower and what happens with the different seeds, right? And so don't be don't be the ones who are the stony ground and so forth. Don't be anything but the fruitful ground where the seeds are planted and they spring up and they bear fruit. That's what you want to be because anything else and everything else will wither when it gets hot. All right, we are experiencing the watering of the word. All right, and so the Most High's plants, who He is watering, are going to be invigorated, right? It's going to be or reinvigorated, I should say, right? And quenched, right? And nourished and return to him and stay close to him because that's what even the animals do that in the wild, right? They try to stay close to their food sources or close to the water. All right. Now you got some who, it's seasonal for them, right? They come to the water when they need it and then they go away and they be gone for a while and then they come back, but then there's others who they stay right near the water. They don't want to have to do all of that traveling. All right. They were smart enough to say, you know what? I'm just going to set up my whole life around this water so I can stay very close in proximity to this water. All right. And yes, we are very much like animals, brute beasts, in fact. And but the smartest of us, and I say that lightly because it's really not about us, right? It's about the Holy Spirit in us that gives us the wisdom to say, you know what? Let me plant myself right here by these waters. All right. And so again, I'm watching my people, man. I'm watching the foolishness, right? It's a whole lot of my brothers out here, man, up to a whole lot of damn foolishness. And I'm tired of watching it. I want, I go between, wanting the Most High to step in and man and just bring it into it all and just praying for them. Right. And I know you'll have certain brothers out here who teach, well, they'll constantly bring out scriptures that says, pray not for these people and so forth. But the thing is, they don't understand that's for a different time. And I mean, and if you want to apply it to this time, you have to apply it to those who for a fact have heard this word and have rejected it. Otherwise, you just can't apply it across the board because we are supposed to be what right now? Fishermen, fishers of men, right? And what are we fishing them for and from? We're fishing them for the benefit of the kingdom, and we're fishing them from the ills of this world, the evil in this world, this wicked world. This is the wicked sea that we're fishing from. So the fish that you're fishing are wicked until you pull them out of the sea, out of the water, right? So that's what we're doing. We're not fishing for righteous people. We're fishing for the wicked. We're fishing for the sinners. Isn't that what Yahawah did? You see how you notice the similarity between what our king did and what we're supposed to be doing? All right. So anybody saying that, just forget them because they're wicked and those are two-thirds and man, F them and don't pray for them and don't this and no that. They got the same spirit as the Pharisees, right? Questioning why is Yahawah wasting his time with those sinners? Why is he wasting his time with those publicans? Why is he wasting his time, right? With that whore, right? Same thing right now. And this is the reason why I have the patience, to endure and overcome the foolishness, right? There's a lot of foolishness, right, in our community. And so I spoke about the brothers. And notice how I spoke about the brothers first?
So that means you ladies can't say a mumbling damn word about when I get to the point where I talk about you. You see, that's how I work, right? I talk about the brothers, I deal with the brothers, and then on the odd, rare occasion, I talk about the women, I talk about the sisters. And see, our Father is the same way. He deals with us, Israel, and then, he deals with the other nations so that they can't murmur against him. He takes away their ability to murmur. But they can't say, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair because you're only doing us like this. What's not fair? And we know our women, they'll say, it's not fair. You hate black women. Why are you bashing black women? You only talk about black women. I don't. I don't. I talk about my brothers too. And I talk about them more because there's more onus on us to get it together than it is the women. So it's more critical for the brothers to get in order than it is for the women. All right. The scriptures, the Bible, the instructions are geared mostly toward the men. All right. There are some scriptures that are geared towards the women, but most of the scriptures are for the brothers. So I use the same type of ratio in my approach. But that doesn't mean women get to go unspoken to or about. Yes, we have a lot of women, a lot of sisters who are out here living in filthiness, and they got to get it right. All right. We got to wake up, Israel. And that's what this whole lesson is about. All right. So we're going to begin here in Ezekiel chapter 3. All right. Verse 17. All right. And it reads, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. All right. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So through the Spirit, the Most High, he causes me to watch things and to hear things that vexes me because they vex him. You know what I mean? When you come into the Spirit and he becomes one with you, he comes to dwell in you, he makes you like him. He gives you his mind. He transforms you to have his mind. So next thing you know, you're going to start finding yourself irritated at certain things. And that's because he's irritated at those things. You'll find yourself very upset with certain things. It's because he's upset. You'll find yourself disgusted by certain things. It's because those things disgust him. All right. And so this is how it goes. And so I understand this now. Right. And so when I see certain things and hear certain things, and when I'm moved a certain way because of it, I know that it's him that is within me and not him that is in this world. You get what I'm saying? And so I understand that the role of a prophet, of a man of the Most High, is to be his conduit, to be his watchman, to be his prophet, to be his mouthpiece. All right, to be as Moses was unto him. Right, his go-between. Yahawah is our intercessor in the heavens, but he has his men here in the earth who are his intercessors here in the earth. All right, they are the go-between for him and his people. There is a hierarchy established. And so I understand my calling. Look at the top. What does it say? At the top, it says Ezekiel's commission. I understand my commission. All right. And so the Most High, he gave his messengers a job, which was to warn his people. All right. And some people think that means to, constantly talk about the mark of the beast, or to constantly be watching the news and be reporting. Everybody can watch the news. Everybody can pay attention to what's going on in the news, right? So it's not really, it's about that. It's about the spiritual things. It's about what the Most High communicates to us through the Spirit. Report those things because that's what he's talking about here. All right. He's talking about the things that he communicated, the things that he told Ezekiel. Ezekiel had to go out and tell it to the nation. All right. But in our times, you can apply it to, you can extend it, expand it to include that other stuff, but you can't make it be about that stuff only. And you can't be upset with anybody who is, that's not the focus of their ministry, because that's not the focus of their ministry. All right. The eyes and the hands have different functions, but they're both part of the body. All right. The eyes can't say I have no need of the hands. The hands can't say, I'm not a part of the body because I'm not the eyes and I can't see. All right. We are given, that analogy in order to help us understand that we're not all going to be commissioned, to do the same things in the body. And we're not supposed to, see ourselves as less than because we're not doing what someone else is doing. And we're not supposed to see someone else as less than because they're not doing what we're doing. All right. So, whether they hear or forbear, we have to warn them. Right. And that's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I can see and sense, I can feel the time shortening. I can feel that rope getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And so the urgency, for this constant message to go out, is being put into the brothers because the Most High wants to leave no excuses. He's about to shut this thing down, and he wants there to be no excuses for no one to be able to say, I didn't know. I was unaware. Had I known, I would have done better. I would have done da, 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 da. He's going to say, no, no, no. You knew. You didn't do da, 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 da. You're lying. All right. So the time of comfort is about to collapse, fam. All right. I even find myself right now enjoying certain comforts and thinking to myself, I'm just going to enjoy this while it lasts because this thing is almost over. I'm going to, enjoy this right here until most I shut this down until it be over. All right. Because Yahawah willing, right? He allows certain comforts and things for his people, right? But the key is to not be so comfortable that you want those comforts to last. No, I enjoy the comforts that he gives me and the liberty and the blessings that he provides while also expecting these things to end and praying for them to end. You see, I enjoy the comforts, but I pray for the comforts to be over all at the same time. You see, that's what a godly man can do. Those who are not godly, they'll find themselves enjoying the comforts and hoping they last forever. I never want them to end. Don't want the Most High's will to be done because they're too busy enjoying the comforts. No, 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 no. Thank you, Abba Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahushai, for the comforts, but please cause them to all come to a cease and cause your will to be done. Bring this thing to an end, like you say you're going to do. But thank you for the blessings that you provide for me and my family while we're waiting. That's my prayer constantly. That's my mindset. That's what's in my spirit. What's in yours? All right. So many Israelites, especially women, I got to highlight this, are asleep in pride and delusion. And I got to say, especially women, not because it's a dig at women, but because it's the truth. The Most High is primarily awakening men for for good and bad. Because think about it, right? The more you know, you're more accountable, right? So more men are being held accountable than are women. This is what's happening. And so more men than women are being given an opportunity to hear the truth and reject it. So at the very least, more men are aware of the truth. More men are awakening and more women are asleep. And that being asleep is kind of um, a bit of a shield for them that the Most High has provided so that he doesn't have to destroy them for knowing better and not doing better. But many men are having their excuses taken away. And so it's not a dig or a bash to say that most women are asleep or more women are asleep because that's just the truth of it. That's the Most High's way. All right. And so again, most women are asleep in pride and delusion. So they are not just asleep, but they're asleep in pride and delusion. Look at this world. Just pay attention. Be honest with what you see. Be honest with what you know what's going on out here. All right. Don't try to make it not be what it is just because you're a woman and you don't want other women to be held accountable because, one day, you might, or because you might be like them and you don't want anyone to hold you accountable. So, you want to help them escape accountability because, when it's your turn to be held accountable, you want somebody to help you dodge accountability also. So, because that's what women do. If they have this train of unaccountability, man, I don't like to be held accountable. It doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable. So I'm not going to hold any other women accountable. As a matter of fact, I'm going to help other women dodge accountability, escape accountability, because I would want someone to do the same thing for me when I'm out here tripping, when I'm not being accountable. I want somebody to help me.
This is the mindset of a lot of women. I'm not guessing this. This is not bashing. This is me telling you the truth of what I know and understand about women. I even tell my wife this about herself. It's the same reason why women a lot of times have a tendency to let the kids get away with nonsense, let them get away with foolishness, right? And they think dad is being harsh, right, and heavy-handed when he's, being what a dad is supposed to be. It's because they have the same nature, a lot of them, of the children. And so they want to, they try to help the children, dodge accountability in the same way they want to dodge it. You see what I'm saying? And so, but the righteous of us, though, the righteous men and the righteous women, we have no desire to dodge accountability. We're facing it head on. We're praying for forgiveness and for mercy, and we're trying to be better. That's what the righteous are doing. All of us, men and women, we are taking accountability for all of our faults because we all have them. None of us are perfect. Men are messed up. Women are messed up. We're all messed up, right? And so those of us who are coming back to our power, we acknowledging our faults, we have a shot at being cleansed because the first step to things improving is admission, acceptance, and admission. You have to admit your guilt, admit your faults. The longer you stay in delusion or your pride keeps you from being able to say, you know what, I'm wrong, I messed up, or I'm at fault, I've done this, I've done that, and I'm the reason for this, I'm the reason for that. The longer you stay away from that acceptance and admittance, that confession, the longer mercy is gonna flee from you. Mercy is gonna keep running from you. All right. It's going to keep running from you. You shall not obtain mercy because you have not met the prerequisites to accept to receiving it. All right. What did our Father tell us to do? What do we have to do? Right. Admit your faults. He says, confess your fault. All right. That we have sinned against him. That is the very first thing that we're supposed to do before we can receive mercy, before we receive his favor. All right. So these people, the women and men, right, who are asleep, they don't believe that what's coming is going to come. They don't believe that what we're saying is going to happen is even possible, right? They think their job, their followers, their smile, their big butts, right? They think it's going to save them. There is going to be no salvation in anything except Yahawah. All right. But destruction is already on the way. All right, we're not, waiting for the Most High to get fed up. Oh, he's fed up already. Destruction is en route. Destruction is happening gradually, little by little. All right. And ignorance won't be a valid excuse. Again, the purpose of this lesson. Ignorance is not going to be a valid excuse. The Most High is not going to hear it. All right. And, comfort is a curse to the rebellious. Remember, I told you, the Most High provides me comforts for me and my family, right? And I know He does this for other righteous people, Israelites, and so forth. All right, but it's not a curse for us because we understand it for what it is. We understand that it's temporal. We understand that this is Him blessing us in the midst of chaos. This is Him showing us mercy and favor, showing us His love, right, while He's bringing down our enemies, allowing us, to enjoy the calm before the storm. All right. But we fully see the storm coming and we're preparing for the storm while also enjoying the comforts. But for the rebellious, they're enjoying the comforts, not preparing for the storm. All right. And that comfort will disappear and the storm will descend upon them. And they're going to have to reap what they have sown. All right. So let's go to Isaiah 32. Oops. Isaiah 32. The glorious future of who? The Gentiles, the Christians? Nope. Israel. All right, let's come down to verse 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Why is this announcement going out? It's because they're asleep, like we just said. All right, most women are asleep in pride and delusion, and they want to remain there. It's a wonderful land of a fairy tale and comfort to them, and they want to stay there.
but they're going to die there. So he's sending the word out. Rise up. I mean, wake up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. So he's talking directly to his own daughters. This is a father trying to correct his daughters, trying to get them in order. Right? Many days and years shall ye be troubled. Many days and years shall ye be troubled. Ye careless women. He specifies that the careless women are going to be troubled many days and years, not the righteous. For the vintage shall fail. What does that mean? The vintage, the old days, the old ways of this world. They're going to fail. All right. But they're starting to see it right now. Government assistance is going away. They're starting to lose welfare and, all the single mother school programs and all the grants for single mothers and for quote unquote women of color. See the air quotes, right? The child support laws are changing, alimony laws are changing, right? Section 8 is changing, right? The family courts system is changing. The laws on abortion and everything are changing, right? Jobs are being lost, right? Affirmative action, phew, gone. Although we know that white women are the main beneficiaries of affirmative action. DEI, phew, right? The preference, for women being seen as a special victim class and a special class that needs, special incentives and special, preferences and everything and hiring, DEI, all that, it's all out, right? That's the vintage. The vintage is failing. All right. Our women are learning, they're getting treated like black men now. They're getting treated like the brothers have been getting treated, getting kicked out of the jobs and so forth, right? Many Israelite women are losing their jobs, facing homelessness and joblessness, right? This is what's happening. And so little by little, the vintage is failing. All right. And it says, the gathering shall not come. All right. The gathering of the careless women. All right. Because these women aren't going to receive the salvation of the men. Because remember, he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold. That's during this same time. Remember, he's going to call 7 women, multiple women, many women to take hold of one man. That's during this same time. But these women are not going to be gathered by the men. They're not going to be brought under the protection and the covering of these men. They're going to be left out there in the cold. These are the women who didn't want the men. These are the women who refused to get in line, who refused Yahawah's order. They didn't want it. They hate the men so much that they don't even want to get in order with the Most High. They don't care that it's the Most High's will for them to bend the knee to his men. The same way it's the Most High's will for the other nations to bend the knee to his men, to his people in due time. Right? See, our women are having the same issue as the Gentiles. They don't want. See, they got so used to looking at us as we are beneath them. There's no way that they can see themselves coming and bend the knee to us. That's why it says those who will not bend the knee to us will utterly perish. That's not just talking about the Gentiles. It's talking about the women of our own nation as well. You better believe it. All right. Verse 11 says, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be terrified, he says. But they don't understand. See, they don't know what's coming, so they're too stupid to be terrified. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins. I mean, he's telling you, he's going to reveal you. He's going to expose you. He's going to reveal you. And that's what's happening right now. We're seeing it. All of these podcasts, look at social media. Women in general, but quote unquote, black women especially, are a hot topic on social media, in the social media spaces. Why? That's the Most High's doing. He's doing what he said he would do. Only they don't realize this is him doing it. You see, because Many people, especially of the world, like to separate the Most High from the things that are happening, not understanding it, and that his movie is playing out. It's him. It's him that's behind all of this stuff. He's responsible. Strip you. All right. And we take all of this stuff from the world off of you. All these things that you clothe yourself in, these worldly things you clothe yourself in to beautify you and comfort you, I'm going to take it all away. I'm going to make you bare. I'm going to expose you. I'm going to show who you really are to the world. And then he says, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, meaning I'm going to bring you into mourning. I'm going to cause you to mourn. I'm going to bring you down low. I'm going to humble you before the world. And I'm going to bring you into a state of mourning. They shall lament for the teats. All right. For the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. They shall lament for the teats. That means they're going to be crying out for nourishment from the government, you see, to be provided for, to be protected, to be taken care of. They're going to be crying to be taken care of. They're going to go from strong and independent to I need help. Why won't nobody help me? I need help. Somebody, please help me. The smart women, aka the women, gifted with the Holy Spirit and given the truth, allowed to see and understand what's coming, they're getting right now. They're coming to themselves and to their senses now. They're repairing the burned bridges and the breaches between them and men. They're getting themselves in order with the Most High now. This is what it's about. All right. But many people, men and women, are not getting right now. They see the world falling apart and they don't care. Sky is falling. They don't care. Right. Same as the days of Noah. All right. He was prophesying, prophesying, and prophesying. Nobody cared. They didn't listen. They didn't care until the rain came, until that thing they never thought would come. It actually came. The day finally came. The time for preaching and warning, it ended. All right. That's the warning, is that the days of warning are going to end one day. One day, the men who are out here teaching and prophesying and warning will cease to do so. And then the rain is going to come, figuratively speaking, not literally. All right, because we know it's really fire that's coming, right? So let's go to Amos 6. So again, this is a warning. This is what he says from his mouth. This is the warning that he wants to go out. So, and this was a warning to the women in particular. All right, like I said, occasionally in the scriptures, he will speak directly to the women, but mostly it's to the men. All right, so Amos chapter 6, verse 1, it says, woe to them that are at ease in Zion. Listen, Zion, this is about us. Now, this is all of us, men and women. Destruction is going to come upon those who are at ease. All right, in the age of our enemies, the land of our enemies, too damn comfortable during the time of the Gentiles. All right, woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria. All right, the mountain of Samaria was the government of the northern kingdom Israelites. And remember, they were heavily into idolatry. And so the people, as so goes the leadership, so goes the people, right? And so since the leadership was heavily into idolatry, the people were heavily into idolatry. All right. And they trusted in their government and their leadership foolishly, the same way many women and men right now, they trust in our leadership. They trust in our nation. And I'll see them, my own people, they'll be out here acting super patriotic as if, this is the greatest place on earth. And, they're so proud to be an American. And there's nothing bad that can ever happen to this place. Nothing. See, that's because they have too much confidence in the military of this place and in its power. They don't see a time and a date when that can end. They don't know that it's going to end, that it's prophesied, it's scheduled to end. It's on a crash course with the end as we speak, only they don't know it. You see, ignorance is not bliss, because that ignorance is going to cause them to be on that train when it crashes. Wisdom is being given the heads up and being able to jump off that train before it crashes. See, so wisdom is bliss. Ignorance is ignorance. All right. And so the father warns directly, right, especially to the women of Israel in the previous chapter, right? The sisters who are wrapped in ease, right? He's saying you've built your comfort in Babylon, not realizing you're sitting in a burning house. Reminds me of what Martin Luther King said, right? When he finally realized, or not realized, when he had a crisis of conscience regarding selling out his people because he knew what he was doing, right? He was a sellout and he sold out his people. All right. Our people were better when we were segregated. He helped lead the charge for desegregation because that benefited the other nations. They needed us to be a part of their communities because our communities were thriving without them and theirs were suffering without us. And so they adapted, right? Because at first they were just burning down every one of our successful communities, right? Looting and destroying and rioting and massacring people. And they said, if we can just get them to stop being unto themselves and building for themselves and get them to come and build for us and with us, we don't got to keep burning down their towns. All we got to do is just integrate them into our communities, make them a part of our communities, and we'll get to reap the benefits of their ingenuity, of their skills. This is a much better idea than just constantly having to massacre whole towns. Let's just get them to be for our benefit and build up our communities in the first place. You see, that's what they did. And they co-opted Martin Luther King. That's why every time you look at his photos, who do you see near him? And those you wish people. They try to act as if the reason why they were there is because, they were partners in the struggle. No, they were his handlers. They were there to make sure that their agenda was being done, that he was being their mouthpiece. See, he was their prophet. He was their boy, their guy, not ours. But the time came, right, when he had a crisis of conscience and he says, I fear I have, um, well, forgive me if it's not the exact wording, but integrated my people into a burning house. All right. Burning house, meaning a house destined for destruction. And that was what it was, right? Our enemies, their house is destined for destruction. All right. And all of us who are running into it or trying to find comfort inside of that house are going to be destroyed with it. You're going to burn down. You're going to burn up when it burns down. All right. So, because of this, the Most High says, rise up, wake up, because trouble is coming. Right. And the fake peace that you've built will be shaken, violently shaken. All right. I said ignorance is not bliss, which means what? Ignorance is not protection. Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai is protection and the only protection. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. All right. His shadow, it will be the only place of safety. All right. So Romans chapter 3, verse 3 says, now let's back up. Let's start from verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of the Most High, right? The prophets were all of Judah, were all of were all of Israel, mostly the southern kingdom, mostly, right? Of the southern kingdom. All right. So all of his prophets, all of his men, all of his mouthpieces were Israelite men. All right. And so he says, for what if some did not believe? All right. It's talking about Israel. What if some Israelites didn't believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Right? Shall the unbelievers make the belief and the faith that the believers have of none effect? No, God forbid. Right? Yea, let Yahawah be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. All right. So let's get Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Listen, their honorable men are famished. All right. So, there's two ways. So, again, we're studying. So, you got to say, well, what does it mean their honorable men are famished? Does this mean that, is he saying that even the honorable of our people, right, were famished? So, not only the wicked, that the honorable and the wicked were all punished together. Is that what this is saying? Sounds like it, right? But there's also another way that this can be perceived, right? Because again, words have meaning, and so another way it can be perceived, and again through the Spirit, you'll learn which way is true. But this is how you study. You got to say, well, and they're honorable men. Is he saying that that these men are honorable according to the people, but not according to him? Because he doesn't say my honorable men are famished. He says they're honorable men. But could I just be obsessing too much over the phraseology? All right. Could my first thought on it be the correct one? Yes. Could my second thought be the correct one? Yes. Right. And so again, that's study. So then you will say, well, I don't know which one it is. And so, Abba Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushua, please allow me the wisdom, provide me the knowledge and the understanding. Give me through your spirit the ability to understand all things, and don't allow me to be in the dark or come behind in any bit of knowledge, big or small. Right? This is how you got to engage with the scriptures with the Most High. Because remember, this is Him. When you're sitting down and you're reading and studying the scriptures, you are eating with Him. It's like you're supping with Him, right? You're having a meal with Yahweh Shai, and He expounds the truth. And He says, okay, no, no, no. I know what you thought that meant. Okay, let me tell you what it means. Let me show you, right? He comes in the volume of the book. It is written of Him. This is Him, right? So when we consume the scriptures, we're consuming Him. All right. And so again, this is the act of studying, but that's not what this lesson is about. But because I'm a teacher, man, and so it was just on my spirit to teach that because I came across it. It came to my mind. So there it is. All right. So let's go to Hosea 4 and 6. All right. But again, like I said, I'm sorry. Did I move too fast without, explaining what I want to explain there? He says, therefore are my people gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. So yes, so that was the point I should have spent the most time on, right? But again, the Spirit took me that other way, but it brought me back so that I didn't miss this point. All right. His people have gone into captivity because they had no knowledge. So if you know that he has a tendency to put his people in captivity or bring his people to ruin because of their lack of knowledge, what should that do? It should make you run after knowledge, right? Because you don't want to be one of those people who this happens to. You don't want to be one of his people who goes into captivity or who goes to destruction and ruin because of their lack of knowledge. All right. Don't let it be you. You know what he does, so you know what he will do. Use that knowledge to your advantage. All right. It's like being a child, right? And you growing up in the house and you get to learn dad. Children study their parents. You learn how to tell when mom is in a good mood or when dad is in a good mood. You learn to tell when is the right time to approach them and when to stay away. When can I fool around and when I better shut the hell up, right? When I know I got a little bit more rope to mess around and when I know I got no more rope and I better stop right now. I better not take another step further, right? Right now is the time. All right, I better stop talking back right now. All right, I had a little bit of rope, but I can look at dad's eyes and I can hear the sound of mom's voice or whatever it is. And I know that I've reached the end. I got no more rope. I better stop right now. Any further is going to be trouble. Right? So, why can't we learn our Father, our Heavenly Father, the same way? All right. But anyway, let's go. Hosea 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You see, our lack of knowledge is to our destruction. So ignorance is not bliss, it's not protection. He says, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And this is the thing, many people have a tendency to reject knowledge because they don't like it, because it doesn't feel good. They will reject the words of the Most High because they don't like it, because of how it makes them feel. They want the Most High to bend to their feelings instead of changing their feelings to get in line with the Most High, change their mind to get in line with the Most High. They want him to change his mind to adapt to them. All right, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. His people have a habit of rejecting knowledge. All people have a habit of rejecting knowledge, but this isn't about all people right now, right? This is about us, Israel. All right, this is about the family. This is a family discussion. Everyone else can benefit from it, but this is a family discussion because the Most High is getting his children in order first. But yes, Gentiles, you can benefit from these things because if you see that his children got in trouble for these things, you might want to get right. It's right. It's like going to someone's house and you're the friend and you go to your friend's house and you watch them get in trouble for doing a certain thing by their parents. You were watching. So you are learning their parents also saying, oh, oh, Mr. Smith don't really like that. I better not do that. Sean got in trouble for doing that. I'm not going to do what Sean did. Learning, right? Same way. All right. You're friends of the family. You're hanging out at the house. All right. You better learn our father too. You better know him. All right. Because unlike, worldly parents, see, our father would take out the belt and whip you too. He ain't just gonna whip us. You get a whipping too. You feel me? So, that's what that is. He says, thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing I'm sorry, thou shalt be no priest to me, because he said, I'm going to reject thee, right? He says, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy father, I will also forget thy children. All right. You forgot the law of thy power. So I will forget thy children, meaning descendants. Right? We've gone through the period of him forgetting us, not literally forgetting us, but turning his back on us for a time. Mind you, we turned our back on him first. You see how I didn't say that other part and not properly address the fact that the reason why was because of us? Because you gotta acknowledge cause and effect, right? And yes, women, I'm about to attack you for a second. I say attack because that's how it's gonna feel to you, because I know you. A lot of our women have a tendency to forget cause and effect, right? So they'll do things and then they'll act surprised and shocked, at the reaction, at the response. I hate men. I hate you. We hate you. You ninjas ain't ish. You ninjas ain't ish. Oh, I hate you. We hate you. We hate you. We don't need you. We don't need you. We hate you. We hate you. We hate you. We don't need you. We don't need you. A few moments later, where all the good men at? Why don't nobody help me? Where all the black men at? I was out and no black man wanted to help me. I was struggling and no one helped me and no black man wanted to protect me. I was in a situation and nobody tried to protect me. Did you forget the past 30, 40 years that you have spent telling us you hate our guts to leave you alone? Right? Like women have spent all of these years talking about leave us alone, don't approach us in public, you scare us, we scared of you, we don't feel safe around you, leave us alone. You see us in the gym, leave us alone. You see us at the grocery store, you leave us alone, right? And then when you leave them alone, they turn around and say, what's wrong with the men? Y'all must hate black women's. Y'all just hate all women's. See, the men ain't no good. Why y'all not protecting? Why y'all not providing? Why y'all not doing? You've been telling us you don't need us forever and that you hate us and that we ain't ish. Now we're responding and now we're matching your hatred. And now they're saying you guys are bashing women and you hate women and you hate, and they never, it never occurs to them that this is just natural. It's natural for people to respond to what other people do. These men are just responding to what we have said for years, for the way we've been acting, for our nasty attitudes. They're adapting to us. We've caused this. See, that's what a good logical woman is supposed to do. This is our fault. We made them this way. They have transformed to be what they needed to be in order to exist with us. Now we don't like what they are, but we made them like this. They're like this because of us. You see, women don't do that. That's lack of awareness, a lack of wisdom, no accountability, right? But see, we can't be like that in this truth. We can't just be sitting here mad at our Father, mad at our power for our circumstances, and not understanding how we got here. You see, that's what the unrighteous do. They spend their time shaking their fists at the sky, mad at the Father, mad at the Most High because of our circumstances. Well, why he do this to us? Where was he in slavery? I can't worship a God who, he let us go through slavery. Completely forgetting that slavery was the effect of our disobedience and our disrespect, right? Oh God, he turned his back on us. We turned our backs on him first. Something happens first. There's always something that's the root of something, right? We got to be better than this worldly mindset, than the worldly spirit that keeps people in ignorance and keeps people from transforming, from becoming better people in order to get better results. All right? You can't do that. All right? So not believing the truth won't stop prophecy, fam. Right? Judgment doesn't wait for your understanding to catch up. Right? So you can scroll past this lesson, all right, or you can scoff at it, get upset with it because you don't like what I said, you don't like what the scriptures are saying, right? Mock it, ignore it, right? But your disbelief, it won't cancel the word of Yahawah, right? That's what he said, right? And I'm just a messenger. All right. The other brothers teaching, we're just messengers. This isn't our book. These aren't our words. So if you don't like it, take it up with the author. Okay. Because, the collapse is already set and most people aren't ready for it. Don't be most people. Okay. Don't be them and don't go down with them. That's important to note also. All right. So we're going to 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, guns, weapons. All right. A sword here is just symbolic of a weapon. All right. Weapons of warfare. For there shall be sedition among men. These are prophecies of what's to come, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. This is talking about complete civil unrest, right? When there is no more a law of the land, where there's no law enforcement, there's no police department and so forth. The people are not, they don't care for because they're not afraid of the law, right? They're not afraid of FBI or CIA or local law enforcement agents. They're not afraid of, the government or anything like that. They're not afraid of that anymore. That time is going to come. And see, this is the time to come that most women are completely ignorant to. They don't understand. I better get it right with men right now because, man, there's a horrible time of lawlessness that's coming. There's going to be no 911 to save me. I'm only going to be as safe as the men in my life that I have surrounded myself with who cares about me. I better have some men who care about me. And you know what? If those men aren't righteous men, if they aren't men of Yahawah, it's the same as having no covering anyway. Right? That's why the men of the Most High will be more precious than fine gold, because those other men will die, and everyone they're protecting will die with them. The women that will be safe are going to be the women who find men like me, just to keep it way real. You better find a man like me. You better find a man that is devoted and dedicated unto Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's what you better do. All right. See, there's I don't even have time for humility regarding this fact because I gotta be real. I gotta be real in order to save your life. Forget trying to be humble. You better find a man like me. Right? I'm not saying find me. I'm not saying try to cleave to me. I'm not saying try to reach out to me. I'm saying that are other brothers out there who are like me. You better keep your antennas up so that when you see them, you know them when you see them, and you can go and cleave to those men. Well, that's what I'm telling you is learn how to identify a man of the Most High. Keep your eyes open for them. All right, because they're around, you just pass them by because they're not the rich men in the society. They're not the well-to-do men in the society. And so these aren't the men who are highly valued by most people, you see, but this is the Most High's doing because he does, because if they were, right, more women would cleave to these men and would receive the blessings and benefits that come along with it, but they would be cleaving for the wrong reasons. You see? So the Most High is going to put the spirit on women that he want to save to cleave to these men who are not highly desired, but the Most High is going to make these men desirable to godly women or to women who the Most High wants to save, women who are beloved of him. He will make these women attracted to these men right now, but later, oh yeah, all of these women are going to be attracted to these men because they're going to see that these men, you know what I'm saying, are the sons of God. See, they're going to know in that day, I better come clean to him. You see, that's the reason why it's going to be so easy and why they're going to beg in that day for the man to marry them. That's why they're going to beg to be one of the wives of these men because it's going to be clear in that day that this man is a son of the highest. I better go get under his wing. Right? In the same way, right now, me as a son of the highest, I say, I better go get under Yahawah's wing right now. I know where the place of safety is. I know where my safety comes from. Right? So I seek shelter under Yahawah. You see, I know who the most valuable, you know, person is, so to speak. That's Yahawah. He's the most valuable to the Father. And then after him, there's us, his righteous sons. And then after us, his righteous daughters. Yes, there is a hierarchy. All right. But in this world, you better find the men. You better find the righteous men. That's the way you get close to Yahushua and to the Father. That's the way you come under the protection. All right. Not just on your own. You see, women, I'm telling you, contrary to what you may believe, because this is not Christianity, so you're going to get the truth here. You're not safe on your own. It's not enough for you to just believe in Yahawah, Bahashem Yahushua, right? You have to believe in their way. And when you understand their way, that'll dictate how you move. See, he'll put it in your spirit to be one of those women who cleave to his sons because you understand. You put your ego and your pride to the side to survive and to have a better life. Because the life of of a woman who is a wife, one of the wives of his men, is going to be way better than the life of a woman who has a whole wicked man to herself. Think about it. Listen to what I just said. You can have a whole wicked man to yourself. Just you. You're his whole world. But he's not a man of Yahawah. Or you can have a man of Yahawah, but understand that you're not going to be the only one that does. Right now, it sounds crazy. It sounds like foolishness. It sounds like, no way, not me. I would never. Oh, but when that time comes, oh, you're going to beg. You're going to beg. All right? The collapse is coming. Now is the time to get right. Okay? Listen to the prophecies. Listen to what's to come. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. The state of the world is going to be such that you're not even going to be able to go from city to city freely. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. If men are going to be afraid, what do you think is going to be the state of the women? Right? A man shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You hear what's coming. Again, those who are wise would foresee the evil and hide themselves from it, right? As the scriptures say. Let's get Isaiah 24. The righteous foreseeth the evil and hide it themselves, because the righteous are gifted with wisdom to be able to see what lies ahead and to make moves ahead of time. The wicked, they do not. They're not given the wisdom to know what to do, or the incentive, or the spirit that moves them into action to do what they ought to do in order to be saved, because it's not for them to be saved. The destruction is for them. So that's why they fight it. That's why they fight the truth. That's why they reject the knowledge. Remember, the Most High says, because you have rejected knowledge, right? I have rejected thee. So they don't want to hear this truth. They want to be comforted with lies in the ways of this world. All right. Verse 10, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. The city of confusion, Babylon, right? We're in it. America, right? It's going to be broken down. But guess what? Not just here, everywhere this is going to happen. But remember, the Most High always starts somewhere, or some place or person gets it worse or gets it first, right? There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. All right. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. There shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. That means people are being picked clean. Right? You're shaking the tree to try to make sure you got everything out of it that there is to get, because people are going to be going around trying to take everything that they can. They're going to be making sure they grab everything that there is to grab, leaving nothing behind. Running up in houses. You're going to have people running up in your house multiple times a day to see what there is they can take. Everybody's going to be in lack and in want. You're not going to be safe. You're constantly going to be in fear, and people are going to continuously be running in your house and rifling through your things to see what it is you have that they want. Men are going to be shaking and shivering. What do you think the women are going to be doing at that time?
All right. Because the vintage will be done. The old days, the old ways, it's going to be a thing of the past that will never return again. And we're getting a taste of it now. All right. We can all see that the old days are old days, right? And you can see now that things are not the same and that it really looks like things are not going to be the same. All right. Now is just something that you can think about and refer to. Oh, I remember when, or I wish things were like it used to be. Yeah, you know, you hear older people constantly saying that. I even say that now, right? Remembering what it was like when I was younger, remembering back on those times and thinking, man, it was better then, or this was better, or that was better. And, this right now is nothing like it used to be, constantly comparing now to yesterday, realizing that, this world and the ways of it are deteriorating over time, not improving. Again, it just looks different. The same way that, slavery it still exists. We as a people are still in captivity. It just looks different. They changed the face of captivity, of slavery, so that we don't realize we're in captivity because we have a definition and the idea of captivity in our heads. And if the circumstances don't match what's in our heads or what we know, then we don't realize it's captivity. All right. It's like having a dog locked up inside of a small, tiny little cage, right? And then he's in there for a long time. So to him, captivity is being in that cage. But then you finally let him out of that cage, right? But he's in a backyard. He's in a small little backyard and he's still trapped. He's still captive, still can't go anywhere. You made captivity look different, but it's still captivity. All right. You weren't treating them well at first. You weren't feeding them well, but now you're feeding them. Now you're feeding them more. Now you're treating them a little better. Right. So you're not beating them like you used to, but you're still talking crazy to them. But because you're not beating them, hey, this is better than, hey, things are better. It's improving. Right. Doesn't realize he's still being treated like crap. All right. So they made it look different, but it still is what it is. All right. Psychological warfare. And we are not very intelligent enough to fight against it or to even be aware of it. All right. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in because people are going to be trying to barricade themselves inside of their homes. Their homes are going to become their prisons. They're going to try to turn their homes into fortresses. There is a crying for wine in the streets, and all joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Right? So just prepare for this because this is what things are going to be like. He's going to take away all the joy and mirth out of the place. So everything that people are enjoying now is going to cease from existing. Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. So again, many Israelites take this to believe that we're waiting for a great time of trouble to begin for us because they don't understand the wording for one. Wording can trip people up. Wording can be a stumbling block. Phraseology can be a stumbling block to people's understanding. That's why you need discernment in the spirit to give you wisdom. All right. And so we are in Jacob's trouble. We are waiting for Jacob's trouble to end. So it's not to say that things are not about to wrapping up, that is going to get worse than it is right now. That doesn't mean we're going into trouble. That just means our trouble is getting worse. That just means we're going into a greater trouble than we're in right now. But it's not trouble beginning. You get what I'm saying? I mean, is that logical to some people? Because that's not a logical. It's not logical to a lot of brothers. All right. Okay. If you are on punishment, all right, you're kept in the house, you can't go anywhere. All right. And you're just kept in the house every day. That's punishment, right? You can't go anywhere. You're in trouble, right? You got restrictions on you that are grievous. you're in trouble, right? And then, your parents come along and start booting you in the ass every day. Now you're getting whoopings, right? That means your trouble increased. It didn't just begin. It began once you got on punishment. Once you were told to stay in the house and you can't go out and your life changed and your world changed and you got all sorts of things that you can't do now and all sorts of rules and everything that you got to follow. You got all of these chores and everything. And that's when your trouble began. Is when your punishment started. But while you were on punishment, you start getting in deeper trouble. That again, that's an escalation of trouble. It's not trouble beginning. Comprende? All right. I hope we can all understand that and follow that. We're not waiting for our trouble to begin. There is going to be an escalation of trouble, but it's not going to be the beginning of trouble. We are waiting to be saved out of trouble, not for it to begin. And we also are looking forward to an escalation of trouble, but not for it to begin. All right. So the collapse is going to be worldwide, not just here in quote unquote the United States of America. All right. Famine, lawlessness, closed borders, all right, cities on fire, people being desperate, women being ravished, right? All of these things, right? And there's going to be no one to call, no help coming. And those without covering will be exposed. I mean, exposed to the danger. All right. And so the calling is for everyone to repent, both men and women, boys and girls. All right. The sons of the Most High and the daughters of the Most High all need to repent. Now is the time. We are in our season of grace, but grace is going to end. All right. Zephaniah 1, verse 12 says, "And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, Yahawah will not do good, neither will he do evil." You see, there are many sons and daughters of the Most High who are settled on their lees. Let's go into the interlinear. Settled on their lees. All right. Something preserved, right? Something preserved. All right. So, or the dregs, meaning the last bit of, of the wine. All right. And so you can look at it like the wine of the comfort. All right. The wine of the joy. Right. And there's a little bit left in that bottle and you're content. You're happy with that little bit, that little bitty, you know what I'm saying? Swallow, not even a swallow. It can't even qualify as a swallow left in that bottle. Just enough to wet your tongue, and you're finding comfort in it, right? And you're settled on it, meaning you're not trying to get more, right? You're not looking for more. You're just looking to hold on to that which you have and hope that you never lose it. And that's where a lot of our people are right now, and a lot where they will be in the time to come. They're going to hope to be able to preserve, to hold on to what they have now and to not lose it, because they're going to understand that, okay, I can't get more. I'm not going to be able to have more than I have now, but can I at least maintain what I have? And so they're going to try to hold on to what they have with all their might, right? That's what's going to happen. All right. And so don't let that be you. All right. We got to constantly be praying. All right. Understanding that, there is, the possibility of being one of these people. And so you're aware that many Israelites are these people or could be, among these people, and you don't want it to be you. So, you're going to act and you're going to do what you need to do to make sure that this isn't going to be your fate. Okay.
That's the benefit of foresight, of being able to know what's coming. All right, Proverbs 7, verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets. She's for the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner to catch who? The dudes who be passing by on the corner boys, Pookie, Ray Ray, and them, right? See, now we know this is both spiritual, right, and carnal, right? Spiritually, this is talking about, right, philosophies and doctrines and things of that nature, but it's also carnal. See, it's twofold when you understand that there is the spirit of the law and the letter of the law, right? There is the the surface level of what is being said, and then there is the spiritual second, third, fourth, fifth, and infinite levels of what's being said. And you gotta, through the spirit, get wisdom. All right. She caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet thee diligently, says to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with love, for the good man is not at home. He has gone a long journey, right? This is like adultery going on, right? Man is being enticed by this woman, right, to commit adultery. And again, you got to understand all phases, all aspects, all facets of what this is communicating. Again, you really want the spiritual side because that'll help you. All right, understanding that you want to try to stay away from the seductions of Islam and all of these other religious philosophies and things of that nature. Stay away from it because as times get harder, you know, religious philosophies they crop up, right? People will start inventing newer religions and newer philosophies and things, and you will be seduced if you're not careful. All right. And then also on the other side of it is, man, you got to be careful out here when, and learn how to identify, the type of woman, who's a seductress, a succubi. All right. She's a succubus. All right. She is sent out there for your destruction. She's an agent of Satan. Satan knows what you like. So he sent you exactly what you like. There's a demon, right? Dressed up to look exactly like your type, exactly like your flavor, exactly like what you like, exactly what you want, all for your destruction. All right. This is what you have to understand because in these times, the godly are going to come under persecution. All right. We are at war in a spiritual battle. Satan knows you. He's watching, he's studying you, right? He's watching all your game film. He knows all your tendencies. All right. He knows your crutch. He knows how to cripple you. He knows what your weak spot is, and he'll use it to destroy you. Ladies, same thing for you. He knows what you like. Oh, he'll send you exactly that guy, that right guy that looks exactly like what you like. That man gonna look like exactly your flavor. Oh man, he's gonna be talking that talk about, oh man, how he like to cash out. He knows you want you a sucker. He knows you want you a simp, right? Oh man, he's gonna come, he's gonna be handsome, right? You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be talking that talk. Oh man, he gonna lay the wood good. You know what I'm saying? The whole time he a demon who's setting you up for eternal destruction and damnation. You better learn how to spot a demon. You better learn how to see Satan, right, shooting at you, trying to get you, off your square, trying to separate you from the Most High because he knows how to do it. He knows that all he has to do is separate you from the Most High and then he can devour you because he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under his shadow, right? He can't come under the shadow and grab you from out of there, but he can try to seduce you to come out, though. He can try to entice you. He can try to coax you out from under the shadow. He can't pull you out. As Yahawah said, we are in a father's hands and no one can pluck us out, right? No one can pluck us out. So that means Satan is not able to pluck you out of the Father's hands. But that again, you're right. But Satan will try to coax you out. right? But you can't deceive the elect. So the elect are not going to fall for the deceptions of the devil, of Satan. All right, Micah 7, verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahawah your power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down in the mire of the streets. Yes, this is saying what it sounds like it's saying. All right. That the women who are the enemies of the sons of the Most High are going to see, right, the restoration of his sons. They are going to behold his sons being lifted up, transformed, and made more precious than fine gold. And they themselves shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets, showing you that women, we have enemies who are our women. There are enemies among our own women. They hate us. They hate our guts, fellas, right? And they shall witness our rise and shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. He's going to lift us up in their eyes and then bring them down. Ladies, don't be those women. Fellas, don't don't cleave yourself to them, to those women. And guess what? Although this scripture here is about the women, there are brothers, quote unquote, who will do the same. They hate us. They hate us. And they're going to see our rise too. And they shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets as well. Both are going to happen. Right? So again, many of our sisters are walking in full rebellion, spreading pride, witchcraft, and spiritual adultery. All right. But judgment is coming for you. All right. Many of our brothers are walking around in pride and arrogance and ignorance and foolishness and filthiness. Judgment is coming for you too, fellas. Judgment is coming for you first, fellas. Right? So the Most High is searching the inner places, and every idle word, every sin hidden behind false lashes and filters is known to him. Hidden behind false brethren, fake daps and hugs, hidden behind words like "ak" and brother, when really they despise you, it's all known to the Most High. And he will tear down this image of the boss chick and the goddess, this image of the real ninja, the street ninja, the high value man according to this world, and he will show that the real and only high value man is a righteous Israelite man. So repent now, repent right now. All right, because again, fellas, you are not off the hook. All right, you are not off the hook, as you know. He doesn't let us off the hook. That's why in Isaiah 3 and 12, he talks about how children are our oppressors and women rule over us. That was our punishment. So our Father is not um above or beyond punishing us. The way he can punish us and will punish us. All right. We got to repent for what we've done to end up in our situation. Remember, cause and effect, right? The matriarchy is a result of a failure of leadership by the men, right? We didn't follow the father, so he has and we rebelled against the father, so the father has the women rebelling against us, right? We rebelled against his authority and his leadership. The women are rebelling against our authority and our leadership. We didn't want to follow the father. The women don't want to follow us. We didn't want to listen to the father. The women don't want to listen to us. We despise the father, right? And try to go after other guys, right? The women despise us and they try to go after other men. They look at them as being the epitome of men and masculinity and so forth. All right. Cause and effect. All right. What we did, God is here. But see, that doesn't mean the Most High isn't still going to punish people. All right. The Most High is the one who sent our enemies to destroy us, right? To take us down because of what we did. But his plan is still to destroy them for doing it. All right. We went into Assyrian captivity because of what we did, but then the Most High still, dealt with the Assyrians. He put us in the Babylonian captivity, and that was our fault, but he still dealt with the Babylonians. Put us in the Egyptian captivity because of what we did, but it still destroyed the Egyptians. You get where I'm going with this? So it's not to say, so ladies, you can't say, well, yeah, you see, that's what we talking about. It's not our fault. It's y'all fault. We ain't to blame. It's y'all, blah, 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 blah. Understand the Most High's way. Just because we did wrong and that caused him to punish us doesn't mean he isn't going to punish us. I mean, doesn't mean he's not going to punish the instrument of his punishment. He used you to punish us, and he's going to punish you for what you did. For everything that you did, he's going to punish you. Everything our enemies did to us, he allowed it, and he brought that upon us, but he's still going to punish them for doing it. See what I'm saying? So you might want to get off that horse and come into some understanding of the truth. All right. So let's go to Revelation 21, verse 8. It says, no, verse 7, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. You see, it's mostly talking to the men in the scriptures. Again, I keep trying to tell you, the scriptures is mostly, you know, uh, geared toward the men. So we gear most of our teachings toward the men. All right. But the women do got to get it on occasion. All right. And because we are at the end, that occasion has to be more often than it used to be because time is running out. We don't have all the time in the world to space it out and, to do it every so often. No, it has to be often now in order to save the sisters because the sisters need to be saved too. Right? If you sisters want salvation, then you have to desire correction and chastisement. Remember, you can't be considered a child of the Most High if you go without chastisement, if you don't get correction, if he don't spank your ass, you're none of his. You understand? If Yahawah doesn't wash your feet, meaning clean you up, you're none of his. You see, you have no parts in him. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers, sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. All right. Don't be among any of those people, not the fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, murderers, whoremongers, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars. So we all, again, because I know that most people will know the meaning of all those words. I know the one you're looking at that you probably don't know. You just see the word whore in there, and you're just like, okay, whoremonger, okay. But what is that? A man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire, a male prostitute, a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse, a fornicator. All right. Okay. A man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse, a male prostitute, a man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire. All right. That is a whoremonger. Now you know, right? So if you're an Israelite man and you're still moving with fear, right, lust, excuses, and cowardice, you're part of the problem. And we got to clarify this lust thing, right? Because if you take what the world teaches you about lust, then you will be under a misconception. Remember, the Most High created men and women. He made women to be attractive. He made women in such a way that it would turn men on. He made women appealing to the man, arousing to the man. The woman is the Most High's handiwork. He designed the woman for the man. He says, I'm going to create something that he's going to love, right? So we are made to be turned on by women. Women are made to turn us on, to arouse us, to make us desire them, to make us want to lay down with them and to be fruitful and multiply. That was the incentive to do it. He wanted us to be fruitful and multiply, and he incentivized us by making it feel good, right? By making women arousing to behold. So just being attracted to women and being aroused by women, that's not
what it means by lust. All right. I know before I explain to you spiritually, um, let's see what the interlinear says. Did I come out? I must have went out the section. Okay, no, it doesn't. Oh, okay, my bad. It was in the interlinear. It wasn't here in the scripture. It was in the interlinear when it mentioned the word lust. All right. And so basically, you know, it's just about desire, right? Desire to not be ruled by your carnal nature, to not be ruled by your desires. Having them is not a problem, but to be a slave to them is a problem. To be ruled by your desires is a problem. All right. And that's any desire. So we think of lust and we think about sex, but it can be anything. It can be a lust for food, it can be a lust for power, control, right? Things of that nature, a lust for vengeance. You see, desire, lust means desire, a strong desire. Okay. So Yahawah is raising up men of war, right? Priests, kings, judges, lions. If you're not ready to rule with Yahweh Shai, then prepare to die with Babylon. It really is that serious, right? It's the reason why we are likened unto lions, right? A male lion, he has a pride, multiple women, right? There's a reason why we aren't likened unto cheetahs, right? Or hyenas or tigers, lions. For some reason, he chose lions. All right. Figure it out. All right. So now is the time for covering and repentance, fam. All right. Now is the time. Don't wait. Don't delay. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 26, verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation be overpast. All right. Now, it's widely believed and understood that this is talking about, when our deliverance is happening and we are sent to go into when we go into the chariots and we are sent to go into our private quarters. All right. Where the Most High is going to keep us safe while he's destroying the earth and them that dwell in it. All right. So when you consider how scary of a time is going to be and what's to come, that should help you get right. That should encourage you and incentivize you to put your foot on the pedal of righteousness. All right. It says, for behold, Yahawah cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. You see, that's why it's understood that going into those your chambers are those chambers are inside the chariots, and we're gonna not be on the earth while this is happening. This is the protection from the destruction. All right. And you don't want to wait until the destruction is happening to try to start calling out to him. Right now is the time to build your relationship with the highest. Right now is the time to build your relationship with his sons. Now is the time. The smartest thing anybody can be doing, man or woman, is to be trying to identify the righteous sons of the Most High and trying to cleave to them. Men and women. You get what I'm saying? And so again, I quoted Psalm 91 just so you can see it. Let's get it. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahawah, by Hashem Yahushai, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust. You see, don't put your trust in this world. It's not going to be able to save you. The powers of this world, you trust in the government, the government or the military or the vintage, the comforts of this world, whatever it is you trust in, stop. Don't put your trust in those things. You put your trust in Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai.
who will extend a hand to you and covering to you in the form of their men. That's how it's going to happen. It's not going to come down personally and come down and protect you and cover you. No, he's going to send and utilize their men to get it done. All right. And so you guys should be familiar with Revelation 12 and 17 by now, right? For those who are new here or aren't used to it, let's get it. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High Yahawah Bashem Yahushai and have the testimony of Yahushai HaMashiach. This is talking about the time to come, right? When our people are going to be persecuted, right? For righteousness' sake, when we're going to be sought after, all right? And they're going to be trying to come after us, right? The remnant of the seed, those who are left, who keep the commandments, all right? And the salvation, the protection is going to come through the men of the Lord. So this is not a time for games. This is the time to hide yourself in obedience, right? Under Yahweh Shai, that is, in faith and in repentance, because he's coming to cover his elect, not everybody. All right. He's coming to expose everyone else. All right. And we're here to make sure you have no cloak for your sins. And I mean the men of the Lord, his oracles, all right, his mouthpieces. And so consider yourselves warned. All right. You know, you've had fire drills and earthquake drills and stuff when you were in school growing up, right? Depending on where you grew up. This is not a drill. All right. This is not a drill. This is the alarm being sounded that that the tsunami is coming. You have a limited amount of time to get yourself to safety. All right. This is not a tsunami drill. What do we do in case of a tsunami? No, this is the alarm bell. Tsunami on the way. Get to cover. Get to safety. We've been given plenty of time. So there is no excuse when that tsunami come and those waves crash and people start being destroyed and you go turn to the Most High. Why? Why my baby, Lord? Because I warned you and you didn't get you and your baby to safety. You were a bad parent. You didn't lead your household properly. You didn't heed my warnings. Now look, your child paid the price for your disobedience, right? And Yahweh Ratazah, man, you know what I'm saying? My family, my children, those under my covering, don't ever become a victim of any such circumstances, especially on account of me not, properly preparing or me not heeding the warnings or his call or not, believing that what he was communicating to me was actually his communication. You know what I mean? See, we got to pray away. We got to pray for our ignorance. We got to understand that we all have some ignorance in us, all of us, me included. We all have blind spots, right? And the nature of a blind spot means you can't see what's there. But the thing is, though, is that like when you're in a car, you know you have blind spots. So what do? You look over your shoulder, you check your blind spots because safe driving causes you to check your blind spots often, right? Safe living will cause you to check your lives blind spots. Every day when you're moving through your life, you're constantly looking and checking your blind spot to see what's there. All right. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 7 reads, and unto the people that was found there, Josiah gave 30,000 lambs and kids and 3,000 calves. These things were given of the king's allowance according as he promised to the people, to the priests, and to the Levites. All right. Let me see. Do I want to get all of this? Let me see. I was going to say, wait, this don't sound like the scriptures that I'm looking for. There we go. I forgot to hit the button. Like, wait a minute. This is not what I remember is supposed to be here. Okay. So second Ezra chapter 9, verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works. What did you do? And by faith. There are going to be those who are saved by faith and those who are saved by works. And those who are saved by faith are going to be saved by their faith and by their works of faith. Not the works of the law, by the works of faith. What are the things that you did? What did you do that proved your faith, that proved you believed Yahawah by Hashem Yahushua? All right. Everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils. So he told you who's going to be saved and shall see my salvation in my land. All right. These are people who are going to make it into the land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. All right. He has separated these people for himself from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments, right? The same people who don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the knowledge. They don't want the knowledge of the scriptures. They want to believe what they believe. They don't want anybody to mess with their current belief system. They are going to be in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. You see, because they have been blessed by him. They received things in their lifetime that were his gifts, but they didn't know him. So they didn't even thank him or appreciate him for what they received because they received it because of because of their own doing or because of the kindness of someone else or whatever the case is. They attributed what they received to something else or someone else besides our power. All right. He says, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. All right. Again, you got a lot of Israelites who they hate his law because they love the law of Moses. Again, it's not the same thing. The royal law and the law of Moses, not the same thing. It's called the royal law because it's the law of the king. All right. And so they hate his law because his law doesn't say, you're going to die for shrimp or for pork. It doesn't say you're going to die if you don't keep all the feast days. So they hate it because it's not the law of Moses. Right. The same way the Pharisees and the scribes and the Sadducees and the wicked elders and the wicked Israelites, the reason why they hated Yahawah, the apostles, disciples, and his doctrine, it's exactly the same thing, right? Nothing new under the sun. So it's happening now, right? They hated the law of Yahawah. They hated, which was the law of our father, the royal law. All right. And so they despised the royal law. The same must know it after death by pain. Listen, the same must know it after death by pain. They're going to die a painful death. And then they'll come to know his law when they're regenerated, when they come back. So they're going to have to, these are talking about Israelites, are going to have to die a painful death. And then they're going to have to be born again, regenerated. And this is what's going to happen. Remember Isaiah 4:1, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Man shall be more precious to find gold. When his sons are repopulating the earth using all of these women, the other Israelites are going to be brought back. They're going to be regenerated through these men and those women who are preserved. Right? And they're going to get to know the law of the Lord and get to love it because they're going to be the sons and daughters of the righteous men, and they're going to be raised up in righteousness. All right. That's going to happen. But don't be one of those people who have to learn it that way. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to have to learn it after death by pain. I don't want to have to be regenerated and come back and learn it. I want to be one of those who get it now, who learn it now, who understand it now, who is saved, who gets to go back into the land. I want to be one of those men through which the other people come back. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. If I got a chance to choose or to have any input on it, I want to be one of them. I know it's the Most High's design, right? But at least he's giving me the spirit to think about it and consider, hey, if I had anything to do with it, what would I do? Well, I want to get right, and I want to be one of the people who are counted worthy to be saved and to repopulate the earth. All right, Luke 12 and 47. And that servant which knew not his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. Listen, and that servant which knew not his Lord's will. So it's like the Israelites who they don't know the scriptures. They don't know this truth. They don't know the will of the Father. And so they didn't prepare themselves, and neither did they do according to his will. They're still going to be beaten with many stripes. You see, ignorance is not going to be an excuse. They're not going to get out of trouble because of their ignorance. But listen to 48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. He's a caveat, but so he's given, this amendment to that, right? He's clarifying, he's making more to the point. He says, but those who didn't understand the Lord's will and they did things that were worthy of stripes, meaning worthy of punishment, worthy of being beaten, right? They shall be beaten with few stripes. Now he's making a contrast. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. All right, meaning the Father asks more of those of us who he has endowed with this knowledge. And those of us who he has given the knowledge, more is to be expected, and the greater the punishment for those individuals who don't do the things that they ought to do because they knew the will of the Father and they didn't do it, so they're going to be in trouble. If those who didn't know his will and did wrong got in trouble, those who knew his will and did wrong are going to be in much more trouble. All right, so that's the twofold. You're in this truth, you know better. Your trouble is going to be worse than the trouble of those who don't know at all. So you really have to get it together. All right. But everybody needs to get it together because you don't want to be part of either one of those groups. Right. So, again, we're not here for likes, subscribers, for friends. All right. We're here to save souls, man. We're here to help build up the kingdom. All right. That's why I don't care about views and all of that kind of stuff. Right. Each one reach one. That's the mantra. Not each one reach a million, reach thousands. All right. We can't reach everybody. All right. So we're here to blow the trumpet. This world is definitely about to crumble. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, right? And the judgment is already in motion. And you can't say, no one told you. So Yahawah is calling. Yahawah Shai is preparing to return, right? And you still got breath in your body, which means you still have time to repent or perish. That's it. That's all. Those are the only options that you have. All right. So with that being said, let's give all praise, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I will see you guys on the next one, Yahawah willing. Each one, reach one. I love you guys, man. I hope to see you in the kingdom. Hope to see you in the wilderness. Hope to see you in the land. Reach out to someone else who you want to see make it also. Shalom.